Okay.
What's up?
It's Friday.
It's Friday today.
So, we got something a little bit different. We're taking a step back from E3.
Yeah, super fun, man.
Because I think it ended on the 13th, right?
Yeah, we can always discuss some E3 stuff too if we want to next week.
But we're doing a tier list.
Like and subscribe.
Doing something kind of different.
Something that we both, well, this is a game that we both really love. Well,
Yes.
series anyway.
Mass Effect. Now, you can argue the ending was, it's not an argument.
You can say whatever you want about it. But
it's not an argument.
I was in denial the first time I finished it. I was on the phone with Cody.
The game was so epic, Mass Effect itself, and BioWare's had some problems here recently, especially with Anthem, but
yeah,
the game was so epic in itself that the ending, everybody knows about the Mass Effect ending.
Yep.
But we're doing a Mass Effect tier list for the Squadmates.
Yeah, for every game, including the DLC characters.
And because the S category, there's so many characters that we feel like we could put in there.
We could put in there, yeah.
That we're just going to limit it. Since there's 19 people, we're going to limit it to 3.
3 S characters, so we're going to have to pick and choose really, you know.
And we're going to look at
really
things.
Tight on that.
Yeah, we're going to look at things like. Well, you want to just explain.
We're going to look at things like their backstory, their effectiveness in the game, their story progression, if they were in all 3 games or 2 games or whatever. We're going to look at their story progression, even in one game. Even somebody like Javik, who was in one game, you know, if their story progression was really good in that game, that's going to be taken into account. Was there anything else? I guess
their effectiveness in battles.
Obviously it's going to be how much we like the character.
Which is the biggest thing to me.
And there could be some arguments with this. I mean, you never know. We could disagree on some stuff.
And we're just going to go straight down the list. So
yeah, straight down this
list. Without
here.
talking any more about it, let's get straight into it.
Yep.
Now the first character.
This is one of your favorite characters.
Yes, and I think is he your favorite?
I don't know. It's hard to pick with Mass Effect. They have so many good characters, so many good storylines. It's hard.
His backstory is really cool.
I almost called him Thanos. Thane.
Thane's backstory is really cool.
His backstory is cool. In terms of his alien species, the Drell. In terms of the alien species and their story, it's really interesting how they had to be evacuated off their planet because of, I don't remember exactly what it was.
It was like a disease.
It was like a disease spreading through. Yeah.
And I think their species, a lot of them, they're trying to get over that. They have a disease.
Yeah.
And they're susceptible to die early.
I can't remember if they said it was something with their planet. Was their planet dying? Was it something like that? Or was it just a disease? See, I can't remember.
I think
it's been so long since I played it.
But it was a disease, and the Thane started to get sick and fought the assassin off. Came after him, Mass Effect 3.
The Drell have the photosensitive memory, which was really cool, how he'd remember things and he'd say it.
But he's a sniper.
Yeah.
However, does he compare to the other sniper like Garrus? Does he beat him in terms of story and everything?
In terms of story, no. Even though his backstory is really good, it's hard to beat Garrus in anything because he was in all 3 games. He was a Squadmate in all 3 games.
I would say Thane is an A.
I would put Thane. I'd put him at an A, especially the way he went out. It was one of the coolest ways to go out ever.
He's really effective. He's very stealthy.
Yeah.
He's very powerful.
Plus he might have had the best entrance of any character in Mass Effect history of any Squadmate, the way he came in.
So I'm going to put him in an A.
Okay, and we can always change these at the end. We can always discuss it towards the end and see.
Now, Garrus.
Obviously. It's almost obvious where you have to put him.
He's in all 3 games. His backstory is really, really cool.
He's like your best friend.
Yeah,
in his story progression where he goes from just a cop on the Citadel all the way to like a general in the Turian military whenever the war starts. I mean, his story progression.
Yeah, the war.
Yeah, the war. And he was Archangel in the second game when you found him. So he's done all kinds of stuff. He went through like a traumatic injury.
He has pretty good durability.
Yeah.
Based on story progression, how effective he is as a sniper.
And how important he was to the story.
And because he's better than Thane.
Yes.
The fact that Thane's at an A and he's better than Thane, well, he's not better. He's not a better assassin, but in overall terms, he's better than Thane.
The good thing about Garrus too, he's really what's the word I'm looking for? Where he can do multiple things.
Adaptability.
He's adaptable because he uses
a lot of variety.
He uses snipers and assault rifles. So
he's
good from either way. So I think you almost have to put him at an S. That's definitely where I'd put him.
Garrus is a.
So he's our first S.
Now, Grunt.
I love Grunt.
Grunt is in 2 games. He's like a lesser version of Wrex.
Yeah. And now, I will admit, his story is really cool in terms of them trying to produce a purebred Krogan to try and help with the, that was my phone, I'm going to move it. In terms of trying to help with the genophage, trying to get a purebred Krogan that can breed.
He's a really durable character.
Yeah.
He has decent abilities.
He's only in your squad in one game, right?
He's only in your squad one game.
Yeah.
The backstory, his backstory is really cool. He does have a loyalty mission, as they all do in the second game. And in the third game, you can go see him again, and he has his own progression.
Now, in terms of story progression, I don't think he's quite as strong because he kind of stays even keeled. He kind of stays the same throughout. He's just a strong fighter.
I'd put him at a B.
I'd put Grunt at a B. I don't know if there's going to be any Ds. I don't know if I'd put any at a D.
And there may
C
not be,
might be the lowest.
Yeah. Now, Liara.
This is a tough one for me because in terms of how important she is to the story, I feel like she's the most important squad mate in terms of story through all 3 games. Her progression is really cool.
She's the only one that survives, I think, in your main squad. Well, okay, let me put it this way. She's the only one that you hear about in Andromeda.
Yes. Well, I mean, and just think about her progression. She went from being kind of a timid scientist
who was captured,
studying the Protheans,
who you just found,
captured who you found, and then she became, in the second game, the Shadow Broker DLC was really cool.
Well, you know what, we talked about how she wasn't in your squad, but she had her own DLC.
Yes, and she became the Shadow Broker, which is crazy.
And she's the only one that you hear the voice of in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, and then in the third game, she's basically the one who finds the plans for the weapon to take out the
So because of the importance for Liara, and she does have good abilities too.
She does. She uses the. Why can't I think of anything? What's it called?
The building?
Blank. The powers like warp. What is it?
Yeah, warp.
What do they use? What's it called? The energy they use?
I have no idea. Dark energy?
It's making me mad 'cause I can't remember.
Void? I can't remember. It's been so long, but
I know.
I would put Liara at an S.
I would put Liara at an S.
Just in terms of importance and her abilities are still decent.
Just in terms of importance to the story and her progression.
Now, Jack, here's where I start getting a little iffy. This one's hard for me. She's the best. She's the most powerful biotic ever.
Biotic, that's the word I was trying to think of.
Yes, she's the most powerful biotic ever.
She is, in terms of just raw power.
She's in the second game. You go find her at a prison. She destroys everybody.
Yeah, she destroys the prison.
She actually wants to destroy you when you first find her. Yeah. The whole second game, but she warms up to you in the third game. She lays her own school.
I do like her progression in terms of her just being just a complete hard ass, and then she kind of grows, and she's still that way, but her character expands more than what it was.
Because of her abilities and that she's the most powerful biotic, and just
okay, sorry.
She does have her own backstory.
But the only thing I will say is she's not super important to the story. She's just a cool character.
No, but because she is the most powerful biotic.
She's in one game.
I feel she's in 2.
2 games. Well, she's a squad mate in one game is what I meant.
I'd put her...
See, I'd put her at a B.
I'd put her in an A.
It's hard.
Just because she's the most powerful biotic. Because of her abilities. Now, you go with Jacob. I don't know what to say about him.
He might be our only C character. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is because I don't dislike Jacob, but he's just kind of there.
He's just kind of there. He's like a basic human. He doesn't really...
He has some combat skills, some biotic skills, but nothing over the top.
I know Ashley Williams and... Is it Caden or Hayden?
Caden.
So... And Caden's another human, but he does use biotic powers. In terms of just being a human, Ashley Williams is that, but Ashley has more story impact.
Yeah.
A little bit better abilities. Jacob, his backstory is kind of bland. He's just kind of there.
One thing I really liked about him was his story in Mass Effect 3. That was the mission you did with him was cool. But he might be a C for me.
I'd put him in a C.
I'd put him in a C. I agree with that. I mean, he's not bad. He's just kind of there. He's just kind of just a character.
Well, then you look at... He is in 2 games. You look at James Vega.
He's in 1 game. That's what hurts him more than anything.
He's in 1 game. He's really powerful. I think he's just a basic human, too.
I like... Freddie Prinze Jr. does his voice work in the game. I really like the voice work. I like the acting.
But in terms of abilities, he doesn't really
He's just a warrior. He's just a fighter, basically all he is.
He's really powerful. He's like a human grunt.
He is. He doesn't have a lot of backstory.
No.
He's a cool character. Like, he's cool to interact with, but he's just kind of, yet again, another character that's just kind of there. I'd put him at a C, too.
Now, Javik, the Prothean.
Going into Mass Effect 3, we thought they announced a DLC Squadmate.
And he was the
most
DLC.
People thought that it would be a Prothean.
Now, people were upset about this because this was around the time when people started learning that things were being cut out of discs.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess this was on the disc. People found it in the data on the disc, but it was removed for DLC content if you pre-order the game, and that's back when pre-orders were gigantic, and if you pre-order the game, you get a bunch of content.
Javik was, you know, when you awaken him, obviously he's a Prothean and they've been extinct for 50,000
Yeah,
years.
he's been like cryo for...
So he's kind of cold, you know, he's kind of, I don't want to say rude. Well, I guess he is rude. He's condescending because he thinks he's better than everybody else.
But his abilities are unreal.
But his abilities are really good.
His gun is really cool.
Yes. I like Javik. He was in one game too, which anybody who's only in one game, it kind of hurts him a little bit.
But because he's a Prothean,
his story is okay, but in terms of his like combat abilities and usefulness in battle, is really high.
Would you put him in an A or a B?
I'd put him in a B, based purely off the fact that he doesn't have a lot of in-depth story, but he's a cool character. I think he's a good character.
He's really close to putting an A for me just because of combat.
I'd put him B+. I'd put him B above Grunt, definitely.
That's what I did. And Jacob I put behind James Baker, but now we go on to Caden. Caden Alenko?
Yeah, and he's him and Ashley.
These are the only two characters that can die in the first game.
They're the first squad. Well, no.
That's Wrex can die.
Wrex can die, yeah.
But in terms of the
these
choice,
are your first two. Yeah, in terms of the choice.
Oh, I guess Wrex. So you have two squad mates that can die on Vermeer.
Yeah. Which is kind of crazy. You know, you don't really think about that in the first game, but they can.
And that's where you first find the Reaper.
Yeah. Sovereign. No,
Sovereign,
right? Yeah.
That's where you first find the Reaper, and that's where you find, which was one of the coolest reveals.
Now, Caden and Ashley are your first two squad mates.
Yes.
In the entire series, so.
Because they're humans.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Caden has some biotic ability. He's not. He's actually a full biotic. He only fights with pistols, I think, in the first game, right?
And if he's the one that you choose to survive in the second game, he joins a resistance, and he doesn't join you because you're a Cerberus.
Yeah.
But in terms of just overall ability,
he's decent.
He's decent.
His story.
I think he's better than James and Jacob.
I do think he's better than them, but
in terms of,
is he a C?
I would
being in all three games, you have to be a B.
I'd put him at a low B.
I might still have him. Well, no, I'd have him below the other two.
Yeah, he'd be below him. Now, one of my favorite characters ever. Did you get to play with her?
Yes, I finally did. I later on I got the DLC for both the DLC characters.
She's the best stealth in the game.
She's awesome.
You can't get better than her at stealth. She is a DLC character, along with Zaeed, who's at the very end.
That's her name.
Kasumi is unreal in terms of ability.
Awesome. She is.
However, her story ending was one of the worst I've ever seen in my entire life. She's on top of the Citadel, and I don't know why she's up there.
Who knows?
She's the best stealth type assassin.
Yeah.
Well, not assassin, but just stealth overall character.
She can just go completely.
She can one-shot enemies with her stealth ability.
Yeah.
And she goes on the Citadel, which makes no sense because there's a war on the planet. Why would you not have an assassin?
It doesn't make sense. I guess maybe they sent her up there to. I don't know.
To stand there and stay invisible.
It doesn't make any sense.
But at the end of the game, did you see what happened to her?
No. What do you mean?
You don't even see her die. She's staying on top of she's in the ship. You know she's in the ship. And it shows when you're going through the portal and it plays the sad music. All of a sudden it shows her face and she's dead.
Okay.
And the Citadel blows up.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, but alright.
The Citadel blows up, I guess, with her on it. And she's dead. And it doesn't explain anything. Again, I don't know why you would have a stealth assassin on top of a thing that's getting ready to blow up, with a war on the planet. Anyway, that's stupid. But because of her abilities and that she's in 2 games, she does have a backstory. She has her own loyalty mission, as they all do. But I'd put her at an A, just in terms of ability.
See, if we were talking about anything other than ability, I'd put her to B. With her combat abilities, I think she's an A. I agree with that.
Because we can't just look at story.
No.
I'd put her at an A behind Jack. I want to put her in front of Jack, but I feel Jack does have a little bit better story. Now, what's the name of the Geth? Legion?
Legion.
Legion has really cool abilities.
I love the Geth story throughout all 3 games. They're the villains in the first game.
You thought they were the main villain,
yeah,
actually.
They were the villains in the first game.
But they were just like vassals, like puppets to the Reapers.
Yeah. Legion is really cool because he's wearing the N7 armor when you first see him and he likes.
Shepard is his hero.
Yeah, the Geth. There's two different factions. There's ones that want to work with the Reapers and ones that don't.
Which is why he likes Shepard so
yeah.
much, because he's like a freedom fighter for them.
Yeah, they're AI created by the Quarians.
And he sacrifices himself in the third game.
Yes.
To save everybody.
To save everybody, to get the Geth to help everybody. I mean, there's different ways it can work out.
But I think that's the ultimate.
But the ultimate ending, or the ultimate ending for him would be for him to he
and that's right
sacrifices
before the war
himself,
starts.
and he basically sends his mind into all the other Geth. Is what he does, so that they will work with Shepard in the.
And he knew
alliance.
that. That's why he was standing out by himself.
Yeah.
He knew that was going to happen.
And him and Liara, her being a Quarian and the Geth chasing the Quarian off their home planet had some cool interactions back and forth.
And if you bring Tali into that mission,
yeah,
she is really sad because she doesn't want him to die.
Yeah, because
he didn't really die, but she didn't want him to go away.
Yep. Legion was always one of my favorite. Now, in terms of combat ability, he's
average.
He's just good.
I'd put him at.
I'd put him at a
Javik.
B.
I'd put him above Javik.
Above Javik. I agree in terms of story.
Now, Ashley Williams, really cool story, decent abilities. Not an awful character, but she's one of your first squad mates.
Yeah, she's one of the originals.
She's a love interest if you pick a male character.
She's an OG squad mate.
No, because I was a male character, I picked her as my love interest.
Yeah.
It
was weird.
The cool thing about this game is you can pick whatever you
want.
want.
First game, I didn't have one.
You don't have to. That's the cool thing about it.
Have one in the first game.
You don't have to do it, or you can pick somebody else.
Yeah.
Now, I think it does give you a bonus too. I can't remember, but
she's just a soldier.
She's just a soldier.
She has no biotics or.
But she's the best soldier. She's above Jacob. I think she's above James Vega. Well, she's above James Vega. She is a little bit.
Her importance to the story definitely puts her above those two in terms of the tier list.
I would put her behind Caden.
If Caden's a B, you have to have her to B too.
That's what I'm thinking. But I think she's behind.
They're almost even, her and Caden.
Yeah, they are. They're dead even because depending on what you pick.
Yeah.
That's how their story progresses through the entire game.
Yep.
I'm putting her at a B, right behind Caden, but they're the same.
They're they're right there with each other.
Now, is it her name Miranda? Miranda's weird. She's a genetically
I didn't like her at all.
No, in the
second game.
But in the third game, her story's
the third game, her story's really cool. Her dad's kind of using her. She's like she's been genetically enhanced.
Kind of like Grunt. She's like a genetically enhanced human. Grunt's a genetically
Now, she wasn't grown. Was she grown in a lab? I can't remember her story.
I can't remember.
But she was genetically enhanced, basically, to be the perfect person in terms of looks and skill and ability.
Yes. And she hates what happens to her. She has a cool loyalty mission.
She has a cool, she has a sister that has a cool loyalty
she goes to save her in the third game. Because she's enhanced, and she has a little bit better ability, her story's a little cool. Her story almost puts her at a C, but I feel like because of her ability and her story is better in the third game, I put her at a B.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to put her at B. I'd put her probably behind everybody.
I'd put her above the humans, just because in terms of...
I guess you're right. She is a little bit more interesting than them. Now we get to one of my favorite characters. I love Mordin.
He's a Spec Ops character. In terms of story, he is one of the best.
He's our only Solarian squad mate in the entire series.
And he has to die.
He has to, yeah.
There's no choice.
What he dies for is one of the best things ever. I don't know what that was. Sorry about that.
What he dies for is to save
the Krogan.
The Krogan.
He's the one who helped create the genophage, where it helped messed up their breeding.
And he's the one that ends it.
And he's the one that ends it. Now, if you're a renegade, you can stop it. You can shoot him. I could be a complete renegade, and I would never make that decision. I couldn't shoot him. He's one of my favorite characters.
He's a Spec Ops. Now, in terms of combat, he's weak.
Yeah.
However, in close quarters against smaller enemies,
he's a tech guy.
Yeah, he can wipe enemies out, kind of like Tali.
Yeah.
But in terms of story, and because he's so powerful, in terms of close combat,
yep.
His combat overall durability is what I meant to say.
Plus, he's just fun to talk to.
He's not very durable.
No. But he is fun to talk to.
I'd put him at an A. His story puts him at that A.
I think so.
His combat ability is not the greatest thing of all time,
But you can get over that.
But
he's not really supposed to be.
His tech abilities do help him.
He's a scientist too. He's real smart.
I put him at an A, the lowest A you can get. Is her name Samara?
Samara. And you could also, I never did it, except in maybe one playthrough, but you can get her daughter. I can't remember her daughter's name now. You can get her daughter
instead of her, and she dies, right?
And Samara dies, yeah. Now, Samara is ruthless. I would say
she's ruthless to
because of who she is. She's ruthless to criminals.
Yeah, she didn't just go around and kill.
She's like an intergalactic Asari. So Samara,
yeah,
we had to cut. Samara is basically an intergalactic Asari, like Punisher cop.
Yeah.
She's more of the Punisher than she is the cop.
Yes. She had no remorse for bad people.
No. Now, I would, in my opinion, if you look at her raw power, I think she's second in terms of biotic ability, only to Jack. I feel like she's the second most powerful biotic in the series.
Now, she has a really, really creepy...
Yeah, creepy mission.
Where you have to go fight the...
There's these things called Ardat Yakshi, and they're only in the Asari, and they it's hard to explain.
It's when they start to go bad, they change into these...
Well, the Reapers are turning them into those.
That's right.
Basically, they're in a monastery because they can't mate. If they meld with people's minds, it kills the people that they're with, and most of them volunteer to go there.
And Samara...
Both of her daughters were Ardat Yakshi.
If Samara knows that they're that, she'll go kill them.
Yes. And the Reapers turn them into these creepy things that are real tall with long arms. Looks like Slender Man almost.
They look like demons.
They look like demons and they float around, yeah.
But because of her raw power and her backstory is cool, I put her at an A.
I put her at an A. I like Samara a lot. She's somebody that you don't think about a lot, but when you really look at her, I really like her character.
I put her in front of Jack, behind Thane.
Is that where you put her that high?
Mm-hmm.
I'd put her at an A. I know, that's where I put her. Now,
Edie.
Now,
I hate this character.
Edie is in the second game, kind of.
She's like a Jarvis.
She's an AI, like a Jarvis. She's like an AI computer.
She's like a lesser version of Vision.
She gives herself a body in the third game. So she's an actual character you can take out on missions. You really don't like Edie? She's not one of my favorite characters.
It was what they did in the third game. She walks off the ship, and she's one of the only ones that you see walk off the ship at the ending. And you're sitting here thinking to yourself, why are they showing her? She was only in this game, and halfway through the game. But I don't know much about her abilities because I hardly ever used her.
She was just a tech. Obviously, she's a computer.
But I don't think she was a great tech. In terms of story, I don't think it was pretty much non-existent. She was the ship.
She was a decent. Her story. Now, the one cool thing about her story, I'll admit, is there's a side mission in the first game where you have to go to the moon, the Earth's moon, because there's an AI that's gone rogue and is killing everybody. She was that AI. You find that out from the Elusive Man. That's the one cool thing about her backstory, but the rest of the story, you are right, there's not a lot there.
I put her to C.
I'd put her to C.
I put her above everybody else because she's a machine, but they all know.
I'd put her below James and above Jacob is where I'd put her.
Now, Tali,
she might be my favorite character.
We got 3 characters left, and we got 1 S remaining.
She might be my favorite character, Tali, in terms of just her personality, her story. I like her combat abilities with the tech. I think she's the best tech, probably.
She's the only other character.
Kasumi's a good tech too, but
she's the only other character that's in all 3 games as a squad.
Yeah, as a squad mate. She's the only Quarian. I like the Quarians. I think their story's really interesting and cool.
And she, I think, is the best tech.
How the Quarians kind of live on this floating mass of ships out in space because their home world got taken over.
She has a hard life backstory.
Yeah. I think she's relatable. Because
she's
kind of a kid in the first game, like a teenager who just kind of got thrown into it.
Can she die in the first game if you don't do what you're supposed to do when you go see them?
See, I think the mission fails. I
don't think you can get her as a squad mate if you.
Is it really? Does the game keep going? See, I never failed that, so I couldn't tell you.
Because I failed it once on purpose, and it had her blacked out.
Wow, I didn't know that. So you could lose 3 party members in the first game.
I think.
You know, imagine how much that would affect the story.
It would destroy it. It would mess it up.
Legion, the Quarians and Legion would be useless. That's crazy. Anyway,
I'm gonna put her at an S.
I think she's the other S. See, to me, it would be between her
And Wrex.
and Wrex.
But because Wrex isn't a squad mate in the second or third game.
In the second or third game, yeah. But he does play a big role. We'll
But
talk
he has
about
a
that
huge
now.
story.
We'll talk about that now.
Now, Wrex, giant storyline.
He's a bounty hunter in the first game when you meet him. He's a Krogan. The Krogan are really cool. I like the Krogan a lot. They're in terms of just full species, they might be my favorite species.
In terms of raw power and strength, he's your strongest.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And
Um,
he fights with shotguns and assault rifles.
most durable.
Yeah.
Best close range.
He even
character.
has some biotic abilities.
Yes.
Which is cool.
A lot of the characters that you meet in the first game are probably your best overall squad mates throughout
Yes.
the entire series.
Yeah.
They're your core group.
Yep.
And they have the biggest fleshed out storyline.
Oh
throughout
yeah,
the
because
season.
obviously they have 3 games to do it in.
You got Liara, you got Garrus, you got Tali
Yep. Tally's in the first one.
for first squad mates. Because Wrex has a really cool storyline, he's the leader of the Krogan through the
Yeah.
game if he doesn't die.
Yeah, he's the leader of the Krogan species on their home world.
And actually, after the third game, he does a voiceover, I think.
Yeah. In one of them he does. In one of the endings.
He does a voiceover letting you know he survived
Yep.
after the Reaper attacked him, so he even survived.
He even
the
survived
blizzard.
that.
Of course, that was before they made the alternate ending.
Yeah.
But because of all that, Rex is so powerful. He's a real cool story. I put him at
He's a really high A for me.
I put him at the highest A.
Probably above Thane, just above Thane, just because of how important he was to the story and what he did.
Now Zaeed, last character,
This
last
is another
DLC
DLC character. DLC character from the second game.
He one of the probably the best bounty hunter.
He's the best bounty hunter. Now he's a cool character. What was his? Oh, I remember what his loyalty mission was. Now I just remembered it's where he went to that facility.
Really cool backstory, loyalty mission.
The animations and the voice work is really good. He's modeled exactly after the actor.
Was he in Andromeda? Was he not when you did that side mission? Remember you said you get to see him later on, and he's on that desert.
Oh, he was. That's right.
That's right, because he's part of Cerberus, is he not?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he and Kasumi are part of Cerberus. That's why they're
right.
DLC characters.
Yeah.
So Zaeed survives.
He escaped the Reaper threat.
Oh man. So he.
It's hard to say where to put him.
Okay, so everybody did survive on that planet, but he left after, I guess, the Reaper threat. You took care of it. However you did the story in your game. But he does leave. And he's on one of those Andromeda.
No. You see his son on Andromeda.
Okay.
That's what it was. It was his son. That's right.
But his lineage survives.
But his lineage survives, yeah.
So, because he's a good bounty hunter, because he has a cool storyline, because of all that, he is... Now, you can send him with your squad mates at the end of the death mission in the second game. Really good combat. I think he's at the lowest A, but I think he's an A.
Okay, I would agree with that. I wasn't really sure what to do with him. He'd either be a low A or a high B for me.
So, if you want to... Here's our list.
We got our
Here's
three
at the
lists.
highest S. You got Liara, Tali, then you got our A's with Wrex, Thane, Samara, Jack, Kasumi, Mordin, Zaeed. Our B's are Legion, Javik, Grunt, Miranda, Kate Nalenko, and Ashley Williams. Then at C's you got James Vega, Edie, and Jacob, and there are no D's.
And I will say, I know Jacob. Jacob is the lowest ranked one, but he's still a good character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still a good
That's
character.
how epic
He's not a
these
bad
games are.
character. That's how, yes, if you've never played Mass Effect, you have to.
But anyway, guys, here's our list. If you like this list or if you like the content, make sure to leave us a like.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe to our videos.
Tell us anything you'd change or someone you'd put somewhere different. I'd like to see that.
Leave it in the comment section.
Yeah.
Hit the notification bell so you're always informed of new videos.
Yep.
And thank you for watching.
Yep.
Y'all have a good day.